Hi everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about a scoring technique that I absolutely love. When you're faced with your back to the goal, there is one of the coolest techniques in the game and it's called the hammer shot. Hey guys, if you're enjoying these videos, make sure you subscribe. If we can grow as a community, it allows me to make more and even better videos, and it really makes a difference. So do me that one favor, hit that subscribe button and let's get going. Alright, so what I really like about the hammer shot is that you can surprise defenders, you can surprise goalkeepers, and if you get the right contact, the ball tends to shoot up into the top of the net, which is a really cool effect because you never really know where the ball is going to go. But if you hit that sweet spot, it's the best feeling in the world. So the big question is, what would be a moment to use the hammer shot? And how are we going to focus on this technique? Because it's quite difficult, because there's a really big margin for error, and we need to make sure our technique is perfect, spot on, otherwise you're going to look like a fool. So when you're in a situation where you receive with your back to the goal, which is actually about 80% of the time if you are an attacker nowadays in field hockey, you're always looking at your teammates to pass the ball. So whenever you receive the ball, pretty much you're always with your back to the goal, with the defender in your back. So that means we have to make sure we have techniques that we can use to try and beat our defenders. So we can go left, right and hit the reverse. We can go that way and hit the forehand. However, the hammer shot is interesting because you can protect the ball with your body. So you have the defender behind you and your body is in between the defender and the ball, which means the defender can't reach. And what you're going to do is you're going to try and leave the ball where it is, move your body out the way, and from here you can try and hit on top of the ball. And we're hitting on top of the ball, just like with a chop, where we're going to try and hit the right contact so that the ball jumps up. However, now, because we're hitting down harder into the ground, the ball can shoot out. All right, so we can split this technique into 3 steps. The first part is the footwork. So when we're receiving with our back to the goal, usually our feet are pointing this way. And what's really important to try and practice, and you can practice without the ball, is pivoting on your right foot. So what you're going to do is you're going to step, you're going to step back. And that's the movement we're going to use later on. What you're doing is you're creating space for your shoulders to turn by stepping out with your foot. So that's what we're doing. We have the ball here and we're stepping back so we can shoot. The second part is our hands and our shoulders. So our hands are a little bit shorter. Why? Because we're close to the ball, and if we have long grip, then we might not have space and we want to prevent ourselves from hitting into the turf. And then the last part is the shoulders. And this is for me really important because the shoulders need to turn and your left shoulder needs to turn towards the goalie. So we're standing like this. When we turn, our left shoulder needs to be pointing towards the goalkeeper. I always say, try and imagine a little piece of rope going from the goalkeeper to your shoulder, and you want to try and keep it on that line. So there's a straight line from your shoulder to where you're shooting. So footwork, try and pivot is number 1. Number 2 is making sure your hands and your shoulders can turn. So that's the second part. And then the third part is where we're going to try and hit down onto the ball on a 45-degree angle. And you really want to try and synchronize the 3. And if you do that, you get a hammer shot into the goal. So, do you want to take your game to the absolute next level? Then check out my Player Accelerator online course. The link is in the description below, and it's going to allow you to get to that standout player level that you've always wanted to be. Unleash your full potential with my online course, Player Accelerator. Check it out. Okay, just to go into that left shoulder, why it's so important is because when we turn and shoot, whether it's a forehand or a backhand, we tend to open our shoulders too far. And when we open our shoulders too far, our whole body goes with and our wrists connect as well, meaning that we usually miss the target on the long side. So, especially with this hammer shot, you don't want to open your shoulders too far. What you want to do is you want to try and, like we spoke about, you can bring the ball back a bit so that the defender can't reach. And now when we step back, we don't want to open up too far. Because if you open up too far, your wrists, they go with, and then we get the wrong contact and we're gonna miss the goal there. So I always say, try and make sure you can see your left shoulder in the corner of your eye. If you can see your left shoulder in the corner of your eye, then you know your shoulder's in the right spot towards the goalkeeper, and then you won't overcompensate towards the wrong side. So from here, bring the ball back, pivot, short grip, and from here, now try and keep that shoulder in your corner of your eye, and then from here, you can go that way without overcompensating and missing the target left. There are 2 extra techniques that I'd like to give you if the hammer shot is easy for you and you really want to upgrade to that next level. So the first one is, it's not really a reverse hammer shot, but you're taking it on the right side of your body instead of the left side. And you can surprise by doing as if you're going to hammer like that, but you can also be a bit quicker and just try and tap it in like that. If you're a bit closer to the goal, so for example, you feel the goalie coming out, you can pull it back and then try and hit it on the top and see if you can go short angle. So, like that, you can get quite good power if you get the right contact. It's more of a wrist action, so you're coming in and then boom. You can get quite good speed and you can surprise goalkeepers. The other thing you can do, it's a hammer shot from a bouncing ball. So it's a little bit like the upright reverse, but when you're in a situation where you feel the defender is really close and if you're going to turn, they might jab the ball away, you can bring the ball into the back space and create a hammer shot from a bouncing ball. So for example, you're here, you feel the defender coming, you bring it back, and then you try and hit on top of the ball. Let me show you one more time. You're here, take about 1.5 meters, bring the ball into space, and then you hit into the ground, allowing the ball to shoot up. It's really tough for the goalkeepers and a pretty cool technique and can also be really effective. All right, guys, giveaway time. This beautiful Osaka hoodie, I'm gonna be giving it away. Let me know in the comments why you think you should win this hoodie, and maybe this could be yours. Great for training, great for chilling at home, different colors. Check it out. Let me know in the comments why you should win, and maybe you're the lucky one. All right, guys, that was the hammer shot. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Good luck, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next week. Bye-bye.